I like, click, subscribe, do all that. You know what time it is. It's Netflix time. This movie's called Super Me. A struggling screenwriter discovers his lucrative ability to bring antiques from his dream into the real world, but his new life soon unravels. So this movie just came out. It's about an hour 43 minutes long. It's a Chinese action adventure film with a little bit of sci-fi mixed in it. Spoiler alert, let's get it. So we got this screenwriter by the name of Sangu just chilling on the train. Then all of a sudden he gets attacked by this Grim Reaper looking motherfucker and bangs his head straight into the ground. Then he puts his head straight through the train. But then we realize he's just dreaming because he wakes up. Then he missed a couple calls from this dude named Sanji. He rushes out the house and goes through the window for some reason. He goes to this temple, I guess to get some inspiration. Then he stops by this guy standing at an egg and sausage sandwich. Then he has flashbacks about this chick named Hula. This girl was a singer that she never talked to back in the day. Then he gets approached by Sanji, who all of a sudden he just starts running away from him. But he eventually catches up with him. Turns out he owes him a script. But he's been delaying on the script because he's at a case of writer's block. Sanji's like, come on, man, you gotta get this shit together. I think Sanji owes people money or something like that. So on top of having writer's block, he hasn't been able to sleep like that. And every time he does, some crazy motherfuckers coming out to kill him. It's that Grim Reaper nigga again. Once again, it's a dream. He wakes up and he can't find his laptop. Then he starts having visions of people looking crazy and shit. Look at that face, like, ugh. Oh, Mortal Kombat Baraka looking ass. Then he dreams about Hula again. Then he's standing on top of the roof ready to kill himself. He thinks he's a failure in life. He can't sell no scripts. He's broke. He can't get the girl of his dreams. So he's about ready to just end it all. The girl he keeps dreaming about now works at this little flower shop or coffee shop. And then the chief is looking at him. He's not even worried about him dying. He's like, hey, you want to get a little egg and sausage sandwich? And at this point, we're like, oh shit, he about to end his life. But no, he gets himself an egg and sausage sandwich. And he comes up on the roof to give him words of encouragement. He's like, look here, man, you too young for this bullshit. You got your whole life to live. He's like, dude, what are you, like in your late 20s? You got plenty of things to do in your life. So after he changes his mind, he sells his broke phone for like a couple dollars and goes to a convenience store to get something to eat. He's thinking about stealing stuff, but then he puts it back. And then he sits outside to eat. While he's eating, this lady comes up to him who we find out is actually Hula. And as she's trying to make sure she's good, the girl in the store is looking like, hey, what the fuck is wrong with him? Because he's being put up against the glass, getting stabbed by one of them Grim Reaper motherfuckers again. And pushes his ass straight through the window. And at this point, we're like, okay, what the fuck is going on? Okay, for this point, we were assuming everything was not real. But the sword he got stabbed with is still there. So yeah, what in all of the fuck is going on? Well, anyway, he leaves the convenience store and takes the sword with him. He goes to this little random-ass pawn shop and everybody wants to buy the sword from him. So at this point, he's thinking to himself, how much can you really get for it? He goes to a real pawn shop and boosts up the price that anybody else was going to get for it. And he ends up getting $50,000 for it. Happy man right there. So he goes to get some of the best food, checks into an expensive hotel, shaves his face, gets himself a new laptop, and got himself some pro sleep medicine. So at this point he's asleep. He wakes up and starts wandering around the hallway. He starts picking up priceless artifacts. Then he gets attacked by somebody else holding some type of gold weapon. What is up with these Grim Reaper looking motherfuckers attacking him? Well, anyway, that he's been attacked, he keeps telling himself it's all a dream. And when he wakes up, he has the gold axe in his hand. So at this point he's like, shit, if it worked for the sword, it might as well work for the axe too, right? So he goes to the pawn shop, gets even more money for the axe. Comes out, starts stunting for these hoes, dancing and flexing on niggas. Goes to the club partying and whatnot. Drunk off his ass while girls get him to the room. Thinking they about to get the business, but he's like, nah, just take this money, ho, go about your business. Yeah, he helped him out a little bit, but it's still money over, bitches. Then he hits the bed and goes to sleep. Now in his dream, he's in a museum, and this time he's ready for the beef. He knows what's coming. Well, so he thought, because this motherfucker got a gun. He's like, how the hell am I going to get out of this one? Then he got shot and damn near got killed in the dream. So we like, oh man, this motherfucker did. But then he wakes up and everything's all good. He takes some sleeping pills so he can go back to sleep. And he's back in the museum taking artifacts. And wakes back up with more stuff. You already know what he's about to do. Pawn shop. And I guess that shit was real valuable because this guy ends up giving him a $2 million check. But as he's leaving out, he gets stopped by Sanji, who hasn't seen him in a while. He takes Sanji to dinner and he's like, man, I don't know what you've been doing, but you changed. He's like, I will be paying for this shit. Not only does Sangu pay for it, he gives him back all his money plus interest. So Sanji's like, what you been doing? Yo, put me on. Then later on, we get to a scene where Hula's working in a coffee shop and Sangu orders a coffee. But then they struck up a conversation and Hula's like, man, I can't even keep the coffee shop open because we ain't getting customers like that. For me to keep it open, I'm gonna need 1.5 million. Sanji says he's going to do everything to keep it open because, you know, he wants to be partners and all that. And, you know, he got money. Later on, him and Sanji go out drinking. Sangu gets hella furred and he puts him on his bed so he can go to sleep. Then Sanji act like he left it because Sangu sleeps. Sanji comes back in. He starts digging through his stuff to see where the money coming from and, oh, he's got the $2 million check in his hand. But as he's about to leave, Sanji wakes up out of his dream with gold in his hands. So Sanji's bowing on his knees. He's like, look, I'll do whatever you want, anything. You know what I'm saying? I can roll with you. We could be a tag team, whatever you want to do. He's like, yeah. First, give me that $2 million check, nigga. It ain't for you and it ain't for me. He goes over to Hula the next day and gives her the cash she needs to keep the coffee shop open. And then takes her out to dinner for a celebration. But as of right now, it's no personal feelings involved, it's just business. He's like, yeah, I'll take that. For now. He goes back to relax himself, goes to sleep, and now he's in a freaking bank, waiting for anything to come his way at this point. Now you gotta be thinking to yourself at some point, he's just getting all his money out of his dreams and getting away with it. He must be taking it from somewhere. There's gotta be some consequences involved somehow, right? Trust me, there is. Anyway, he comes out the dream with money, which Sanji is very much approved of. And now Hula all of a sudden has a boatload of customers that are actually coming in the coffee shop. So she's got to be thinking to herself at this point, what the fuck is going on with this man? Well, the way he got the word out, the money he took from his dream, he was giving to the people to tell him to go order the coffee shop. He even gave a bag of money to Pops. I don't think he wants anything to do with that, but I'll explain why later. So he's walking her home getting some casual convo. And she figured out he was a screenwriter. He's like, whoa, how'd you figure that out? Something about dreams and passions and stuff like that. Then we get a scene where he goes back in his dream once again and brings the damn Porsche back into his room. Meanwhile, Hula's coffee shop is a booming success, and he pretty much walks her home every day after she leaves the coffee shop. Then he lets her drive the Porsche, which he was basically going to give to her anyway. Then we start having flashbacks to when she was singing again. Then we see a young Sengu who used to always watch her sing. You know, he was that guy that was always infatuated with her but never said nothing. Well, anyway, during the ride, he takes her to the movies. And then she's like, when are you going to let me read one of your scripts one day? And ironically, being with her gives him the inspiration to actually write a script. But he gives it to Sanji and have him do whatever he wants with it. And then goes back to sleep. This time he has a dream that he's in bed with her. This time he only pulls out a bra in the dream. Meanwhile, Sanji's so moved by the script that he's doing, he's about to go sell that shit. Sanji gets it popped with a whole bunch of buyers, and he's like, yeah, we gonna get this shit rocking. Before you know it, they're holding awards for this nigga Sanji and whatnot. So obviously, to make it seem like it didn't come out of nowhere, they was like, well, he didn't want to get famous. He wanted to be very humble, keep on a low profile, whatever. Then after that, he goes to sleep, he has another dream. But this time, the guy's not chasing him. He's just sitting there and just sitting there. He's stuck inside the goal with a championship belt on. But as he's trying to take the belt, the dude marks his chest. Nevertheless, he takes the belt, the guy starts disintegrating. And your new WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Sangu the GOAT, bitch! As gold starts breaking around him. Then they have a conversation when he wakes up. And he's not greedy at all. As a matter of fact, he wants to donate all his money towards the community and towards the city. He wants to build this big ass shelter where all homeless people can live comfortably and be in a regular life. So they both have good intentions despite wanting to live comfortably their damn selves. Then he tells Hula about her plans. As she's looking at the fireworks like, yeah, you about to get this business tonight. But as he's chilling in her house and she's getting ready for him, all of a sudden a motherfucking sword hits him in his chest, tears open his shirt, and he's got marks on him for real. And yeah, those marks really are on his chest. So scared of Hula being in danger, he dips off and comes back to his apartment. To which he sees Sanji enjoying a good life. He's like, you good, man? And he's like, nah, I just need to get some sleep. To which leaving so abruptly, he had a bunch of missed calls from Hula. So Sanji packed up some bags and he's like, he's got to go somewhere for a couple days. I'm like, where the fuck is he going? Well, anyway, Sangu goes back to sleep. He has another dream again. This time he goes on the roof and the person he's facing now is himself, who we see starting to wither away. Yeah, that's not a horrifying sight, right? Disintegrating and shit. I forgot to mention, every time he has one of these dreams, he sees this again. It's like some alternate universe where he's seeing like dead corpses and blue doors. That's what he sees after most of his dreams, and as you can see now, he's got another cut on his face. Yeah, so remember that fight he had with the guy with the axe? Remember when he took the championship belt from the guy, but the guy ended up touching his chest and doing something? Well, apparently he took his superpower away, and all the fights that he's had in his battle, his scars are starting to really show up now. So now he's trying to go around not being recognized because he thinks he's in trouble. Then also he gets kidnapped by some niggas, and they put him in his postal service van. Now who the fuck kidnapped him? By this guy. Now who is this guy? Somebody that Sanji owes money to. Freaking knew it. Then Sanji makes a deal with this guy, and the briefcases he had money in them. So he's like, yeah, you got the cash, now let my friend go. But they said, fuck all that, we kidnapping your ass too. So apparently this motherfucker's the mastermind and he just wants all the money. He was willing to give y'all 100 mil, y'all still want more, y'all just some greedy fuckers. You're not gonna get killed, right? Cause greedy people deserve to get got. So they already got what they got, but they're gonna go to his apartment to get more shit. They go to a spot and find all the artifacts, and they pretty much torture him for no reason at this point. And then Hula comes to visit, but she don't know he's fucked up right now. He tried to tell some bullshit about he never felt that way just to make sure she doesn't come up. She almost believed it, but then the doorman told him that his room is unlocked. So she goes up there to try to figure out what's going on. But they end up putting a gag on her head anyway. She takes it off and just stunned by seeing everything that's going on in his room. He told them they could take everything, but these niggas greedy. Now they want his girl too. I'm like, what the fuck? Then even he's feeling bad. He's like, man, Jack, you ain't gotta go this far, dog. I mean, you could just get the money and get up out of here. But Jack don't care. He put on some brass knuckles and beat the fuck out of him. Sanji wakes up out of his coma, then all hell breaks loose. Then Jack pulls out a gun and bangs off on the nigga that he was already beating the fuck out of with brass knucks. They try to get upstairs to escape. Niggas catch up to Sanji. They smash on him. He owes them all so Sangu and Hula can get away. Sanji got done deal, dead. Then they get to the top, big man's trying to choke her out. Sanji tried to fight him off, but he gets tossed through some damn glass. And that nigga's pretty much left for dead. As the dude's focusing attention back on her, he passes out. Then Sanji starts to dream again. And this time he's fully in this part of the dream with the walking dead and the blue doors. He goes to one spot, it's a blinding light, and it gives us a montage of all the places he's been in his dreams. Then he gets to this one particular wall that's showing him what's happening right now. And he can't do nothing about it, so you thinking to yourself, is he dead at this point? And all of a sudden his body starts changing. He pulls out this weapon, and he turns into one of those blue things he'd been trying to kill in his dreams. Then the real Sanji wakes up. The blue Sangu throws the sword at Jack and kills him against the wall, but he lets off shots hitting Hula. Oh no! What the fuck, man? Yeah. Then the blue him pulls out a Gatling gun and starts lacing niggas. Then he turns around like he's about to shoot Sanji. But he doesn't, and all the gold gets transported back to where it came from. And then all of a sudden we arrive back at the convenience store. Turns out all that was one big ass dream, but he did run into Hula. She read one of his stories and she says she wants to do anything to get him back on his feet. He's just so exhausted with everything, he just busts down crying. And then we get a montage of her. It's really her that's been keeping her eyes on Sangi the whole time, even up to recently working at the coffee shop. So she fixes him up and he actually starts working in the coffee shop with her now. He meets up with Sanji and pays him back for his lost time because he hadn't been able to write anything. Sanji said, I sold that shit, man. This money belongs to you. He's like, yeah, man, your story's fire. Now buy me 2 wonton soups, nigga. He's like, man, you know I got you. Chill out. So everything's all hunky-dory, right? Alright, so remember, I just said this was a dream, right? Remember when he gave Pops money for a stand and he didn't want nothing to do with it? Turns out that wasn't part of the dream. He really did give him that money. He's like, this is the price for me selling my soul. So wait, what the fuck? Was he not dreaming? And then the sky starts disappearing and it looks like that dead zone with those blue doors again. So wait a minute, if he's really in an alternate universe, does that mean he's dead? Is this an illusion within his imagination? I'm confused. Somebody help me out with this shit. Well, anyway, Super Me on Netflix. Check it out. Like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. Slick these out the easy best. Big. Who the goddamn slogan?